Cathy, we're having a look at visuals right now of Oscar Pistorius in this courtroom. He's standing there with his brother and sister very close by. And just a moment ago, we had a close-up of his face. He looks contemplative. Clearly, the man does look pained. He appears to be in tears at this point. One wonders whether one of the focuses today of his mental state would be the fact that it would have been Reeva Steenkamp's 30th birthday.
Well, absolutely. You know, what a fateful day, if I can put it that way, Joanne. The irony in this day, the fact that Reeva would have been turning 30 today. Now, since this case has started, we've seen his family come out in public and say quite a number of things about the kind of relationship that he had with Reeva Steenkamp, saying that, you know, they were in love, that Reeva was in fact the love of his life, and they really paint a picture of a man who is distraught and has not been able to recover from what happened on February 14th. Now, in terms of his mental well-being, he has been undergoing therapy and counseling to try and help him recover from the incident and the trauma that he experienced as a result of that. And so, of course, there would be a fair level of attention on him and his emotional well-being and his emotional state, given that Reeva would have turned 30 today. But of course, also, again, the attention today being on those close to Reeva, those who knew Reeva. These are her friends, her family. What are they going to be doing today? What are they thinking today? What's going on in their minds? And we're hoping that once this court proceedings are done, we will actually be able to speak to them, especially once they know exactly what charges are being brought against him for Reeva's murder, and whether or not they think that the state has in fact been doing enough to try and get justice for Reeva, and if they think that they will succeed.
It's interesting that her family has given almost the entire court process so far a very wide berth, that they don't seem to want to have been anywhere near the courts while these processes happened.
Well, they haven't been to any of the court hearings, Joanne. They've stayed in Port Elizabeth. At first, they had said that it was rather traumatic and emotional for them to actually come to court and be part of the proceedings. That would entail having, of course, to see Oscar, having to also see his family. And I think emotions are still largely raw where that is concerned. When you hear the stories from Reeva's parents about the relationship that she had with Oscar, you know, they do point a single out incidents where Oscar did portray some form of recklessness. There is a popular one where he was driving with Reeva in the car and he was speeding, and Reeva called her mother and told him that, you know, Oscar's speeding, and her mother spoke to him on the phone and told him to slow down because that was her baby girl and she didn't want him to hurt her in any way. And so when those kind of stories coming out, still can perhaps pointing to the kind of emotions that the family itself are still trying to deal with at this particular stage. But her friends, Gina and sister Kim Myers, have put up a brave face today. They have come through to be part of the court proceedings, and it's the first time that we're seeing them here. And you know, they had said that Reeva wanted to actually celebrate her 30th birthday in Las Vegas, and so today also an emotional day for them.
I just want to just recap some of the information we have been talking about, Cathy, for the benefit of viewers who have just joined us. We are, of course, seeing Oscar Pistorius in court. He had arrived there for his indictment about half an hour ago, and the case is set to kick off in just a short while. Cathy, just won't you please recap for us the last few moments when he entered that courtroom?
Well, what we had happening here this morning was, of course, Oscar Pistorius arriving for this court appearance. We're not expecting that it's going to last very long, probably about an hour or so. And this is when the state is actually going to officially bring the charges. They serve indictment on him. He'll know exactly what charges he's facing. It is a provisional indictment, so what's on the charge sheet can be changed. We're also expecting that they will set a trial date for next year, sometime in March. Of course, there was a lot of interest as he arrived at court. His car had to circle the courtroom quite a number of times. There is a police presence at the court, but logistically things seem to have been planned much better than they were the last time that he was here. The pavement around the court has been cordoned off. It's directing traffic much easier, not only just on the pavement, but also people going and making their way into the court for other court cases that are taking place today. The presence of police also making things go much smoother here today. It took about 20 seconds for his bodyguards to usher him through, of course, the mob of cameras that was just waiting to get that picture of him as he made his way inside.
News that moves. eNCA.com.